Right now, while you're watching this, something is eating your money. You can't see it. You didn't agree to it. And it never ever sleeps. It's the most powerful force in money. Einstein supposedly called it the eighth wonder of the world. And for most people, it's pointed the wrong way. At them. Here's the part nobody tells you. The exact same math that makes rich people richer is the math making you poorer. Same engine, same formula. It's just facing a different direction. And in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you the one tiny move that turns it around. So it starts working for you instead. Meet our guy, a stickman, big, hopeful smile, empty wallet. Let's call him Chip. And Chip just saw something he really, really wanted. A shiny new laptop, $2,400. Chip does not have $2,400, but Chip has a little plastic card, and the card says yes, so he swipes it. Easy, painless. The laptop is his, and that's the exact moment the monster wakes up. See that little guy? That's interest. Right now he's tiny, harmless, cute even. Chip doesn't even notice him. Why would he? The bill says the minimum payment is just $50. $50 a month on a $2,400 laptop. That feels like a steal. And that feeling, that's the trap. That's the whole trap, right there. Because here's what the card doesn't put in big letters. That card charges 24% a year, which is completely normal, by the way. The average US credit card sits around 22, 23% right now. 24% a year means 2% every single month. And that 2% isn't charged on what you pay. It's charged on what you still owe. Let me show you what that actually does. Watch the monster. Month 1. Chip pays his $50, feels responsible. Good job, Chip. But before that 50 even lands, the monster takes his cut first. 2% of $2,400 is $48. So of Chip's $50 payment, $48 got eaten by the monster. $2. 2 whole dollars came off what he actually owes. He paid $50. His debt dropped by 2. Read that again. At that rate, you know how long the laptop takes to pay off? If he only ever pays the minimum. We are talking years, a decade-ish. I'm not exaggerating. So Chip, being Chip, decides to be a hero. He's gonna crush it. $100 a month. Double the minimum. Chip feels amazing. Let's watch what the monster does anyway. 6 months in, paying $100 a month, Chip has handed over $600. And he's barely dented it. The monster ate most of every payment along the way. Here's the rehook, and this is where most people completely check out. Don't. Because this next part is the trick that makes the whole thing click. Quick word from me before we go further, then we get to the good stuff. Everything here is general education, not financial advice. Chip is a drawing, not your advisor. Okay, back to the monster. Let's fast forward to the end. Chip keeps paying his $100 a month like a champ for almost 3 years. 33 months. And finally, the debt hits 0. He did it. So let's add it up. What did that $2,400 laptop actually cost him? About $3,260 for a $2,400 laptop. He paid roughly 136% of the price. Call it nearly half again on top just for the privilege of not waiting. $860. Gone. Into the monster. For nothing. And now here's the gut punch nobody draws for you. That laptop? 3 years later, it's old tech. Used. Slow. If Chip tried to sell it, he'd be lucky to get $700 for it. So line it up. He paid $3,200 for a thing now worth about $700. He paid roughly 140% for something worth about 30%. That gap? That enormous, painful gap? That's the monster's whole meal. And the worst part is how quiet it was. No alarm went off. No moment of pain. Just $50, then $100 a month slipping out while Chip felt responsible the entire time. That's the danger. It never feels like an emergency. It feels like being good with money. So let's freeze right here, because this is the exact moment everything can flip. I want you to notice something about that monster. He's not magic. He's not evil. He's just math. A percentage, eating a balance, every single month automatically. And math doesn't care which direction it's pointed. That's the secret. That's everything. Point that exact same engine the other way, and the monster works for you. Let me show you. Same Chip. Same $100 a month. One different decision. Move 1. Chip kills the card, cuts it up, pays it off and shuts the door behind him. Now that $100 a month isn't feeding a monster anymore. It's free. So here's move 2. He takes that exact same $100, and instead of paying a debt, he sends it into a broad, boring index fund every month. No stock picking. No genius required. Just the whole market in one cheap basket. If you want the full breakdown of how that boring basket actually works, that's our index fund video. Go watch it after this one. Seriously, the two together are the entire game. But here's the part that should give you chills. Watch the jar. Remember the monster? He's still here, same monster, same math. But now he's green. And instead of eating Chip's pile, he's growing it. Every month, that same 2%-ish force does its compounding thing. Except now it's adding on top of itself. In Chip's favor, instead of against him. Early on, it's slow. Boring even. The pile barely moves. Chip gets impatient. That's the moment most people quit. Right there. When it feels like nothing's happening. But compounding doesn't grow in a straight line. It grows in a curve. Flat at first, then it bends, then it goes nearly straight up. And almost all of the explosion happens way out at the end. The tail does the work. Which means the most valuable thing Chip can do is just not touch it. And wait, the patience the monster used against him? Now it's the entire weapon. Same $100, same math. One faces the wrong way and bleeds him for years. The other faces forward and quietly builds him a future. Nothing changed except the direction. That's it. That's the whole video, honestly. But I know exactly what you're thinking right now. Okay, easy for the drawing. I already have the card. I'm already on the wrong side. So now what? Fair. So let's actually get you off the monster's plate. Here's how Chip does it. Step 1, stop the bleeding. The card goes in the freezer, the drawer, anywhere but your hand. You cannot fill a bucket that still has a hole in the bottom. Plug the hole first. Step 2, find your actual number. Not the vibe, the number. What you owe and what rate they're charging you. Most people genuinely don't know theirs. That rate is the size of the monster. Higher rate, hungrier monster. So you feed that one first. Step 3, throw everything you can at the highest rate debt while paying minimums on the rest. When that one dies, you roll its payment onto the next. The payments stack. The monsters fall faster. And step 4, the one everybody skips. The day the last card hits 0, do not let that monthly payment vanish back into your life. That's the magic money. That freed up payment is exactly what you redirect into the boring jar. Same dollars. You're already used to living without them. So now they go build instead of bleed. That single handoff, from card to fund, is the moment the monster switches sides for good. And look, I'm not going to pretend this is instant. It isn't. It's a grind for a while. The monster got big over months, and he comes down over months. That's the honest version. But every single payment you make moves you from one side of that math to the other. There's no day where you flip from poor to rich. There's just a direction. Pick it on purpose. Now let me hit you with the part that actually reframes everything you just saw. We talk about debt like it's about willpower. Like Chip is just bad and weak. He's not. Look back at the whole story. Chip was paying double the minimum the entire time. He was trying. He felt responsible. He thought he was doing the right thing. The system was just quietly winning anyway, because the math was pointed at him. That's the thing about compound interest. It does not care about your effort. It only cares about direction. Which way is it facing? At you or away from you? A genius pointing it the wrong way loses. A total beginner pointing it the right way wins. So this was never about being smart enough or disciplined enough. It's about one decision, made over and over. Which side of the math am I feeding today? And here's why that's the best news in this entire video. Because you don't have to be impressive. You don't need a finance degree or a big salary. You just need to stop pointing the most powerful force in money at your own face. Cut the card. Free the payment. Send the same dollars forward instead of backward. The monster doesn't change. Your side of him does. Chip started this video on the wrong side of the math, getting eaten alive and smiling about it. He's ending it on the right side. Same Chip. Same $100, same monster, just finally facing the right way. So here's the only question that actually matters when you close this video. Right now, today, is your money compounding for you or against you? Because it is absolutely doing one of them. It never picks neutral. It never sleeps. You can't fire the monster. But starting today, you get to decide which way he faces. Now, if you want to see this exact same force working all the way in your favor, the index fund video is where the green monster really goes to work. That's the other half of this. Watch that one next.